Hello and welcome to Trading Movies. I'm Junaid,
And I'm Omar.
and today we're talking Jawan.
Ready.
Omar, we watched this movie last night in IMAX. I believe that was your second time watching it.
I've seen it twice. I'm part of the big historic box office run. I'm a chunk of that.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's start there. What are the current figures, or at least at time of recording?
All right, so for anyone, I mean, if you like movies, you know what's going on with Jawan right now. We're on the sixth day of release officially. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, we're at the sixth day of release officially. It was the fastest Hindi movie to reach 200 crore at the box office, 300 crore at the box office. It currently sits worldwide 574 crore. And that includes a Monday of 29.5 crore and a Tuesday of an estimated 19 crore or so today, or 26 crore today or something like that. So it got it's not slowing down.
Yeah,
as expected. Yeah. I mean, a drop on Monday and Tuesday is obviously expected, but it's going really strong still. So this movie is solidifying our SRK's King Khan status.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think it's pretty much confirmed that he is the king of Bollywood, and that nothing's really gonna stop him going forward. I feel like the last two films, I mean, he had a little bit of a lull there, but the last two films have kind of both hit it out of the park, and both in the same year. Both in the same year.
And not only that, but he's got his best one still to come, because he's teaming up with, Bollywood's probably most revered director, who is Rajkumar Hirani.
In the
director of Munna Bhai, director of 3 Idiots, director of PK.
In his next movie?
Yeah, which is coming out in December. Interesting factoid about that, which I will give later.
What is that movie about?
But that movie is called Dunkey, and it's about...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that movie is coming out in December. It's a Christmas release. I think Shah Rukh Khan's last Christmas release was Zero. Did Zero come out December time? I believe it did. It was just 2018, which obviously bombed because the movie was not good. But Shah Rukh Khan has teamed up with Rajkumar Hirani here for Dunkey. So this is people are saying that Pathan was the preview.
Yeah.
Everyone excited to see him. The movie was like meh or whatever.
Yeah.
But he got the box office number because everyone was excited. This movie better than Pathan. We're gonna get into it more. Still going strong. I think the most awaited one is still to come, which is December.
Well, that's interesting. And yeah, you were right that Donkey's in December, and Zero was his last Christmas release, by all looks of it.
Yeah.
I think the numbers speak for themselves. The guy is a box office draw. He's up there with Tom Cruise and like The Rock.
Yes.
No, he's more than The Rock. He's more than The Rock. Probably disrespectful to put The Rock up there with Shah Rukh Khan. But yeah, I feel like at this point, he knows that if he has his name attached to it, he can get a certain amount of funding. Yeah. I think now he's trying to elevate. Like, that's what he's trying to do. And he tried to do that in this movie as well, like working with younger directors, working with people he hasn't worked with before.
Yeah.
Different cinematic styles as well. So I think it's interesting because like usually if someone's at his scale, they don't tend to like mess it up. They'll just make the same formulaic movies, but he's definitely trying different things.
That's the thing but he's always tried different things.
Yeah.
And for a while there, between like 2015 and 18, they just weren't working.
Yeah.
He tried a Fan, which didn't work. He tried a Zero, which didn't work. And they didn't work for obvious reasons, because of the plot issues, because of the storytelling issues, because it just wasn't done. Where he had the concepts there.
Mm-hmm.
In Fan, he had the concept. In Zero, he had the concept. Like, you've intrigued us with your concept.
Yeah.
The concept's not going to make you 1,000 crore at the box office.
No.
The story's going to make you 1,000 crore at the box office. The quality of the film, and that's where he was not. Where he was ultimately coming short with. He was giving us the concept. He was giving us trailers and previews like, "Hey, look, I'm coming and doing this. I'm going to be a dwarf in this movie.
Yeah,
I'm going to be playing a double."
And I think he realized though that the audience wants to see him as the hero, but a hero that they can aspire to be like. They want him to be badass, they want him to be cool. I think that's a big, most important thing. Like, the audience wants to see themselves, at least the Indian audience wants to see themselves as him, like aspirationally. And I think that's why some of the movies where like he plays like a smaller person or whatever, people didn't connect with that because that's not why they go to the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, so this big movie, okay, was a hit. But the reason it didn't do numbers the same way some of his other movies didn't is because I think that movie might have struck too close of a chord for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, it talked about a lot of real things.
Yeah.
And I think, particularly in India, a country where, and that Indian subcontinent, a country where there's so much, like, poverty and, like, just you see shitty things every day.
Yeah.
You go to the movies for real escapism.
Exactly.
You know? And and I think he learned that after his negative kind of little spell there in the late 10s.
Yeah.
And now he's come back to, like, we're going to make movies that people are happy as they're leaving, and we're going to entertain people in, like, a way where this is almost like what their dreams would feel like.
Exactly.
You know, jumping off a moving car, a bridge onto a moving car, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But this brings us to Jawan, which is different in its sense because Jawan is what they call in India a mass film. A mass film.
And what does that mean?
A mass film essentially means that you have a product out there which appeals to the widest possible range of audience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they've done that in terms of language here.
Yeah.
They've done that in terms of casting.
Absolutely.
They've done that in terms of influence from Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, and Bollywood.
Even the people behind the scenes, right?
Exactly. Like behind the scenes, the director is a South director. But bringing, one of the things that I saw after this movie was that, people who are reviewing it who are like the Tamil people, the South people who are coming out and reviewing this movie, they're like, yeah, we liked it, but you know what? We see movies like this,
all
because
the time,
this is the kind of cinema that we're used to seeing.
Yeah,
compared to Bollywood audiences that are like, holy crap, what did we just watch?
Yeah,
so that's what he's kind of brought in. He's like, okay, I'm gonna make this mass film that's gonna appeal to the entire country. He's pulling in numbers from the South that Bollywood has never seen before.
Yeah, and I think if anyone who's seen Bollywood movies, particularly Bollywood action movies, if they go and watch this, they can tell the difference.
Exactly.
Like, there's absolutely a different style to it.
The storytelling is different.
Yeah.
The action, the music, everything is quite it's quite hyped up to revolve around this like heroic central figure.
Yeah, it's the same way like the Bourne Identity was different from every other movie at that point. Same thing with John Wick and like the gun fu kind of style, at least in Hollywood at that time, not in Hong Kong. Like it's all very obvious that it's new to this environment, even though it might have been done somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's pretty clear and it's smart. And maybe we should get into like the background. So it's written and directed by Attlee. And I think if you look at the cast, like a lot of people in this movie.
Yes.
Some of them have like 3 lines, but like a lot of people. So like Shah Rukh Khan, Nayantara, Vijay Sethupathi, who plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
Deepika Padukone, obviously she's in her cameo. Priyanmani, who's I think one of the 6 girls, right?
Yes.
Same as Sanya Malhotra, Sujita Bhattacharya, Girija Oak, and Lehar Khan, Alia Qureshi, and Riddhi Dogra. So there's like a lot of people. A few of them don't even have Wikipedia pages.
Okay.
Like some of those, like I'm pretty sure this is like their first acting role and stuff like that. So like really random kind of group of actresses, at least for the 6 girls. Like some of them are known. Like what's her name? Sanya Malhotra. I've seen in a lot of movies, I feel. But some of them I've just never seen them before. Yeah,
that's true. I haven't seen actually of all the 6 girls, like his crew in this film.
Yeah.
I think Sanya Malhotra is the only one I actually recognized.
Yeah, I think a few of them are like Southie stars and stuff. Yeah. But again, so that's a good point, man. We've touched on it earlier. Like this movie really does have a pan-India kind of perspective.
Yes.
Particularly, like we were talking about it yesterday. Even like the opening sequence where he lands in like a northern Indian or like border kind of region, and the more the more like Asian looking Indians, right, which obviously exist. But then like throughout the movie, when they cut through different parts of India, they're showing all sorts of different people, like farmers, regular people on the streets, people in the city, people in the village, whatever.
Yeah, like the opening sequence, it felt like we were in like Nepal or something, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they look like they. I mean, India. One thing people don't realize is, like, particularly Westerners, is that India is very ethnically diverse.
Yes.
And linguistically, obviously, but ethnically as well. Like there are vast differences between what a South Indian looks like and what a North Indian looks like and what an East Indian looks like.
Yeah, there's vast differences in their looks, their language, the food they eat.
Mhm.
It's quite diverse.
It's very, very diverse.
Yeah.
And yeah, like this was only one country because of the way, well, like the British, because
Yeah.
before then it was like, how many different kingdoms. But all that to say, this movie is probably the first one I've seen that really you can feel like the influence of like a pan India kind of perspective, which is frankly nice.
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't get a lot of opportunity to watch like movies from outside of Bollywood, from the Indian subcontinent, like I don't watch like Tollywood movies or anything like that. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some. Yeah, so I've seen the like I've seen RRR.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen bits of Bahubali.
Mhm.
I've seen the Rajnikant
I've
news
definitely
film.
seen. I've definitely seen
Jailer.
I've definitely seen like clips of them, but I've never gone out of my way to watch an entire movie.
No, it's a big difference in terms of the way stories are presented,
Oh
and
yeah,
generally, I'm not a fan
yeah.
of Tollywood cinema in terms of. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch a Tollywood movie. If I hear something big, like
Yeah, like
RRR
RRR, yeah.
RRR was like huge everywhere in the world.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, let me check this out. But generally, yeah.
So, okay, with that being said, what were your thoughts about this movie?
Okay, overall, without any spoilers, I thought it was different.
Mhm.
So I love the pan India thing. I love the whole. I loved how they tried to make this movie with a lot of emotion in it. So it wasn't. Off on the offset from the trailer from the previews. I was like, I'm going in to watch a hardcore action.
Yeah, I would classify this as like a social thriller.
But I'm exactly, and I came out like, oh wait, this was completely different than I
Mhm.
thought. So my expectations were one thing, and when I went into and saw, I was like, this is completely different than what I actually thought I was going in to watch. So I really like that. We're gonna get into that more in the spoilers section. But
Mhm.
if you're going into this, if you haven't seen the movie and you're on the fence about it, um, you're not going in to watch, just a mindless action flick.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to this movie than that.
I would say I in general, like, this is a decent movie. I preferred it to Pathan,
Yes.
particularly on substance.
Yeah.
I think Pathan might have had better shot action sequences.
Yeah.
And like some of the lighting and stuff in the action sequences might have been better in Pathan. But I think this movie has like millions and billions of points over Pathan when it comes to substance.
Yes.
And like talking about things that matter in the world and things that will continue to matter 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years down the road.
Yeah.
The things that they talk about in this movie will still matter.
Yes.
Right. And I don't know if I can say the same for Pathan. And I think my issues with this movie are not not with content, but more with stylistic issues.
Yeah.
I think some of that affected me. And two, I thought there were, like with most Bollywood movies, I find there are some logic issues, which is fine. I'll put that aside. It's a movie. But what I found was this movie had, I think, a little more fat than it needed to. I think there are certainly, perhaps even entire storylines that could be cut.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
For sure.
Honestly, in general, I was going into this movie with, I wasn't going to say like I wasn't looking forward to it, or I was like, I had a negative perspective, but I was just expecting it to be like Pathan. Just like a different kind of team of some sort, but it's just him being a badass.
Yeah.
Which, trust me, there's a lot of that in this movie, and it is a little like, okay, we get it, Shah Khan's a badass.
Yeah.
But there's actually like genuine meaning to some of the things that happen.
Yeah.
And that surprised me.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, for sure. So yeah, overall, I think it's a worthwhile watch. It's something different, especially if you're not used to, a South movie or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely something different for Bollywood viewers.
Yeah.
Definitely something different. And I think it's worth watching just for the messages this movie gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can have their I guess their little cons about how the story was presented in some ways. What needed to be there, what didn't need to be there in terms of stylistic choices. And like I think a lot of people reviewing this movie have said the same things.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, we like the message. But maybe this didn't have to be there. Maybe this could have been done differently. Whatever. I think overall the messages that this movie does provide you with, though, it's worth the watch.
So what were like some of your favorite sequences, or what did you enjoy about the movie particularly?
Okay, so me personally in movies.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spoil. By the way.
Spoiler situation coming up now. So me personally in movies, I guess people differ on this. I like the flashback stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a flashback guy.
You liked 1986. with Deepika?
Exactly.
You like that?
You know,
Yeah.
I like I like the flashback. I like going back and, revealing a story.
You just like the mission where all their guns fail. You animal, you sadist. Omer's on the side of the terrorists.
But not just that. But like I like how interwoven within all of the stuff that was going on, you were getting backstory. Like, okay, what's happening? What they're doing this? They are hijacking a train, and we don't know why they're doing it until the very end of that train sequence. But then we find out, and you're like, okay, fine. You know what like he's saying the number, 10,281, whatever the number was. What's that number? Farmers or whatever.
I also thought the movie had a couple of like nice touches. Like, for example, that sequence. Why do they end up hijacking that train? Because the daughter of the rich girl is on it, right?
Exactly.
But then there's a part of that I really liked. So it's a rich girl. She's in the back of a Rolls Royce. They manufacture a car accident, knowing that she'll take the metro to make her exam.
Yeah.
But it's a rich girl. She's never taken the metro before.
Yeah.
So what happens? They have a plant there waiting to help her go into the metro. And like that is something that is so brilliant. But also the people who are making this movie are probably of a similar class to the villain in this movie.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So they're like, we know our kids don't take the metro, right?
Yep.
It's a more working class thing. So like that, I really appreciated that little detail.
Exactly.
Like, it was clever, right? So what else do you like?
So I like going back into flashbacks, learning that. Maybe contrary to you, but I thought the action in this was done better than Pathan.
I think
I didn't think the action in Pathan was particularly what I liked. I liked a couple of sequences in Pathan, like the train sequence in Pathan. I appreciated that sequence. Yeah. In general, the action sequences in Pathan, I wasn't the biggest fan of.
Yeah, I would say Pathan was a little too superhero for me. I think what I meant by that is some of the action sequences in this just seemed. I thought the way the camera moved didn't frame the actors in a positive way. Like the fighting scene and the prison escape when Nayathra's fighting Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
I thought that could have been shot a lot better. Like, she's a very great physical actress.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was dark, but I just thought the movements of the camera, they were trying to do like a Jason Bourne kind of handheld thing, and it didn't work for me.
It didn't work, okay.
Yeah, but there were other scenes where I did appreciate the action sequences that were pretty good. And then there were others that were like, no, this is bad.
I appreciated the final one in the prison.
Yeah, I even think Shah Rukh Khan's background, like what is it called, flashback scene was good. Like the gunfight in that. That was really well done. And part of me wishes, like, what if the movie was Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika, right? The guns fail, and then they kill him, but then he comes back like 3 years later. And they're like, he's a hero, and then his whole mission is to publicly shame this guy, and it's like a whole
different movie.
But I was just like imagining, because that courtroom scene, it's not a courtroom, but that scene they have, right, where he like loads the gun and shoots him, shoots him. That was a great scene, right. And Shah Rukh Khan, when he's like doing a monologue in like nice clothes, and he's like, that's a great. That's when he's like at his best, you know. And so I was like, man, I'd watch that. It was like A Few Good Men, but.
True. The other thing I really loved about this movie, two things. First of all, I think it takes guts to make a movie like this in India today. I think in a day and age where movies are becoming blockbusters because of their anti-Pakistan sentiments.
Yeah.
You're making a movie calling out the issues in your own country.
Corruption
and government issues. Yeah, like Gadar 2 is the biggest example of an anti-Pakistan, probably like a movie that I haven't seen, but the reviews are telling me it's trash.
Yeah.
So Gadar 2 I know is not a good movie without even watching it. But I know that it made 600 crore at the box office because it's anti-Pakistan.
Of course.
Right? So like that, just, in an era that's I found it refreshing going into this movie, not knowing that there's going to be this whole political aspect to it, but going into this movie and looking at and seeing that, hey, look, they're not just trashing Pakistan. They're like, look at our healthcare, look at our government, look at our.
They're looking inwards. They're not looking. They're not stepping on the back.
Look at what the issues are here.
They're not stepping on the back of other countries.
Yeah, and the best part of that was the final Shah Rukh Khan speech about the voting.
Yeah,
that I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's a fantastic monologue. Again, like that was a fantastic message as well. And I think that's one of those things where like the equivalent of Indian social studies classes, they will show that like in class. You know?
I think there's lots of like things going on around the internet about like, is he talking to the BJP? Is he
I mean,
talking to the BJP? I mean,
pretty.
he didn't mention the names of anyone he's talking about, but you're free to interpret whoever you think.
There's been one government in India for a while. Who do you think he's talking about?
But yeah, so those are the main things that that I appreciated. I honestly, I loved the SRK's father, like Vikram Rathore, when he comes back with the cigar in his mouth, fighting with the white hair, the older looking Shah Rukh Khan. I love that character.
He looks like an anime character.
Yeah, I love that character.
He looks like Paul from Tekken.
Yes, yes, that was my favorite character in Tekken. I used to always play with him.
I remember.
Yes,
you know how many times you destroyed my character's arms?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Even when playing Alien with you, I just always play with Paul. But yeah, I loved that Shah Rukh Khan character. That was my favorite character.
Yeah, he looked. He did some interesting things. He was funny.
Yeah,
I thought, and then he suffers from PTSD, and then he comes back and he realizes what's what. But yeah, that was the good character, and unfortunate what happens to his wife.
Yeah.
But I thought Deepika was great in this movie.
Oh, I thought she was great. I loved her flashback. I loved it.
She was great.
Yeah,
and she just captures the scene. Anytime she's on the scene, her whole
any movie she's in.
I wish they showed her shooting those cops. That would have been cool as hell.
Yeah.
Because she's so badass.
Yeah.
Like the gun looks natural in her hand.
Yeah, it really does.
Like she should really star in her own like action movie, just like Salt. But
Namak. I think she should be as part of the spy universe on her own.
Yeah, Namak.
You see Namak. Namak. No, Deepika she has I would say in total she probably has about 15 minutes screen time in this film in terms of her storyline.
Yeah, it's interesting though, right? Because they call her a cameo and then they call Sanjay Dutt a cameo, but she's in it way more and she's way more important.
Sanjay Dutt is a true cameo. She's more integral to the story.
Well, she's fourth billed on the cast. She's billed higher than some of those 6 girls.
Which makes sense, I would say.
She's a huge star. She got paid more. She did 2 songs. So
yeah,
that's big. There's 4 songs in the movie. So
she had 2 songs with her. The whole prison sequence with her. I think, I'm a big fan of her.
Yeah,
I think she looks great. She acts great. You put her in an action flick and she just looks natural. She fights. She looks natural.
Yeah, and I appreciate I didn't put her on skates this movie. Thank God. I think that falls in line with probably one of my favorite things with this movie, which is they really elevated women in this movie in contrast to a Bollywood movie. Now, I don't think they did it perfectly, but they did do it well.
Yes.
Like the women characters that they did have in this movie were like, there's a doctor, there's a hacker. Most importantly, there's like one who's like a top cop who's like super important, runs the task force, has been in 7 negotiations in the last 10 years and has succeeded in all of them. I remember that fact.
I like the couple of fact drops here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the 4th largest weapons dealer.
That's so funny. I'm like, you're the 4th largest weapons dealer and you're showing up to a crappy prison yourself. You don't have like an underling to do this for you. Like, come on, get out of here. But like, I thought beyond just the title, it's like, the doctor, she is willing to stand up for her patients, and she's like, I will go all the way up to the Minister of Health and complain to you, right? Like that shows agency. Same thing with Nayathara's character. Like she's a single mom, decides to keep the baby, doesn't need a man really to live her life or to support her child. Those are not normal things, and if you do see it in Bollywood movies, you don't see multiple in the same movie.
Yeah,
you know. So, and this movie had it throughout the movie. Even the woman who, like the former warden who takes care of Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
Kaveri Amma.
Yeah.
Again.
So this name drop.
Literally. And she has maybe like 5 lines in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But still, very cool what she did for that baby.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And like that, I thought the characters were great. And Nayanthara, like, she is awesome.
Oh, I loved her.
She was great.
Honestly, I loved her. I think she's great at action. I think she's a good actor. I think she looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I think she should do more Bollywood movies.
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic. I don't know if she will get the opportunity to, if this is just like a SRK kind of thing.
I think she got an opportunity before that she rejected.
But I would love to see her in something completely different, because now I have her, because this is the only thing I've seen her in, and I have her typecast as like a cop.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, show me you as like an idiot, like housewife or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
let's go backwards.
Show me something random. No, but like, show me your acting chops. Like, I want to see what she's capable of, like,
in terms of
doing. Yeah. Because it's always interesting when you see like one actor who just plays the same kind of character, and then they're told to completely flip the script. And like there's some people, like particularly in like Hollywood, like some like white male actors, I'm like, you're just a cop to me. Like you're always a cop or like a detective or something, and you'll always be like that.
Yeah.
And whenever I see you, I just think cop. And then when they come in another show as like a crackhead, I'm like, no, but you're a cop. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just like that. But so
it's one of my gripes with South cinema.
What's that?
Is that South cinema is very star based, right?
Mhm.
So their movies, and that's where the word mass comes from. Like their movies are very centered on this one heroic character, which is just gonna like be heroic in the movie.
And the character is the best at everything they do,
exactly.
and nothing can stop them. And
you don't really always explore. And when you watch movies like that, you don't always explore someone's acting. You explore, like for example, the biggest South star to ever exist is Rajnikant, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen some of his work. I haven't seen obviously he's done over 150 films or whatever.
Yeah, he's done a lot. Yeah.
So I've seen some of his work. I recently watched the movie Jailer, which is his most recent release. Last month it came out. And he's playing a badass in that movie again, right? And I'm not saying that the guy can't act or anything, but have I ever seen a Rajnikant movie and I've been like, oh my god, what an actor?
Yeah.
No. No, I've been like, okay, I can understand that. He's stylish. He's stylish.
Yeah. I think the key here is you want people to be like them. That's what it is. It's like, I want to be like this guy. This is what I imagined my life would be if I was the main character and I had unlimited money and a nice car. This is how my life would be.
Yeah.
Everything would fall into place for me.
Yeah.
And I think those movies just try to aim for that a little more directly, and Bollywood might have a little bit more artistic kind of different views of it. In terms of going back to Nayanthara though, I thought they could have given her more to do in the final third of the movie. They kind of benched her.
Yeah, well, I feel like they benched most once the Victor Mator made an appearance in the second half.
Once Shah Rukh Khan 2.0 came, they were like, okay, ladies, I don't want to play with you anymore. It's like that Toy Story meme.
Yeah, because they had more. There was more about them in the first half of the movie.
Yeah, and I thought they could have totally used them.
They could have done more.
Even when they do that heist, when they're wearing the saris and they're on the side of the road and they lie that one of them's pregnant, and then they steal those other trucks.
Yes.
I thought that was great. Show me more of that.
Yeah.
Don't show me the old dudes finding Molotov cocktails on the side of the road and throwing them at SUVs. Show me them robbing. That's what I want to see.
That's what you want to see, yeah.
But you know who else was good in this movie? The daughter.
The Nayanthara's daughter?
Yeah.
She was
so
good. She was cute. Yes.
A little cringe.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You're 5.
Yeah, exactly. So cringe is allowed if you're 5 years old.
Yeah, we should definitely have a lesson in stranger danger though, because
the way it just took off.
Yeah, whoa, you don't even know this man. He's come fake be my dad. We'll talk about that later. What did you think about that? But I thought she was great. She hit her lines really well, the comedic timing. You know who she reminded me of? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know how there's that little young girl who Leo's filming a scene with. He's acting with, and then he can't get the line right, so he goes back to his trailer and he's like, why do you have 7 damn whiskey sours? And he gets so mad at himself. That girl, she's like, I'm not an actress, I'm an actor. And she's so prepared. Yeah. Anyway, this girl reminded me of her because she's very mature and capable.
Yeah.
And, anyways, I love that actress, Julia Butters. She's really good.
Okay.
So that just reminded me of her as a great playing out of your age kind of role. What do you think about Vijay Sethupathi, the villain?
Oh, so he's a very loved villain in the South.
He's awesome.
So, and I thought he was great.
Bro, in the last scene, I didn't particularly love the final fight scene, but when he's like, yo, can you please fight these guys? They might start singing the song. I died. I was like, yo, that's so funny, bro.
But even he was funny a few times too.
Yeah, he had
some good line. At the when he captures Vikram Rathore, the guys are explaining that he's Mufasa, and he's like Gasamosa.
Yeah, can we talk about one thing? Is this the first Bollywood movie where they have baseball?
Baseball.
Remember, he has them all lined up. And first of all, this man should sign for a $350 million contract right now with the Toronto Blue Jays. He went 5 for 5, 100%. Okay, if you're good at baseball, you hit 30%.
True.
He hit 5 for
5 ball though.
He hit 5 for 5, and he hit him right in the stomach each time.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yes,
that's unparalleled. But yeah, I thought he was awesome. I really liked his styling. I thought he looked really cool.
with his the older version with the white hair.
No, the older version. Yeah.
The older version with the white hair and the white beard.
Yeah,
I
like
love
the
that.
main storyline.
Yeah.
He looked really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's a nice look.
It's a good villain.
Also looks very scary.
He does.
Like he does look scary.
Yep.
And like there's a couple of cool shots of him, like when he's at the docks and he's leaning against the Rolls Royce, or when he's like doing his workout overlooking the city and stuff.
Yeah.
Very like Batman villain vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I just enjoyed him. Like he was awesome.
He was fun when he was on screen.
Yeah.
He was
you know what scene I liked? His scene with Deepika when he's in the jail and he's like harak sarak, and like how the neck breaks and all that. That was really cool too.
It was really good. And the way he your eyes are gonna come out, your tongue is coming
out. Yeah. Which again, didn't expect to see so many people hanged in this movie. But
three, right?
Yeah, three.
Yeah. 3 people that we actually saw get hanged.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah. This is true.
That's like 3 too many. Like vague,
not a family movie.
Vague references to hanging, fine, but like 3.
Yeah, we saw 3.
That's a lot.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you think the de-aging was on him?
On Vijay.
Yeah.
I thought he looked fine.
I thought he looked great.
I looked great when he was young.
Yeah. I was like, you look like you'd be an a-hole in the 80s.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good, but I think I don't even think they had to de-age, so I think they aged him up for that.
Yeah, but just the way they made him look, the styling was really good. He looked really good. Though we should talk about like, you were the 4th biggest arms company in the 80s, and you're still 4th, like 30 years later. What have you really done, bro? You haven't expanded the business at all. You haven't grown it. Like,
well, actually, no. He said that line in the 80s.
Yeah, but then he's still 4th largest later, isn't he?
Well, he never says that. He said, because remember he says I'm the 4th largest to Deepika in the prison. Which
True.
Is in the 80s.
I thought he said it later again.
So he said,
but he didn't.
I think he only said it.
I yield
time.
to you. You've seen it twice. I yield to you. I also like the corruption of it all, like how the health minister is his brother.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Yeah. So he's getting everything done, and he has all the money, so he's running everything.
Yeah.
So whatever he says goes.
Exactly.
As the agricultural minister said at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he's like he greases all our wheels. So
yes.
Like whatever he wants, he gets.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, which is insane, but also definitely based in reality. So
true.
I really liked the prison montage of Azad growing up. Did you like that?
I loved it.
I thought it was actually really
one of my
nice.
favorite parts of the movies.
I know, which is would not have that kid is very cute.
Yeah, very
and I would
cute,
not have expected like.
I love the music during it.
Yeah.
I love the soundtrack behind it. Shout out to I gotta say, I did really enjoy the background music and stuff in this movie.
Yeah, so the music.
His name is Anirudh.
Yeah, Anirudh. Yeah, that's
so
the music by Ravi Shankar. Yeah,
South composer. Did really good work, I thought, in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I really appreciated the timing of the songs.
Oh, the song. Oh, yeah. So I guess we can jump into that.
I have a couple of more positive things to say.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a new rule for you, or a new kind of guidelines, formula. So I love Sanjay Dutt in this movie. I thought he was great.
Yes, but Sanjay Dutt, I love whatever he
for
comes
like
in.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on any of his legal history or anything of that nature. He comes in for like 3 minutes. He's fun. He adds a little zing, a little pep.
Yeah.
I think there's a new a new set of rules for a successful cameo, and here it is. You either wear something iconic, drive something iconic, or have an iconic line. If you have 2 of the 3 of those, you're going to have a good cameo.
Yep.
He does all 3. So, boom. Great cameo.
I loved his entry in, because first he comes in a motorcycle, but did you, I don't know if you caught it, but either not his first, but one of his, in one of his first few movies, I think, was a pretty popular movie in the 90s, called Khalnayak.
Yeah, and then he sings
the line from that song at the beginning. Like I was like, oh, that's a nice drop.
Yeah,
I like
know.
that.
The Gujus behind me are laughing. I caught it.
Yeah, got it. Okay,
I understood.
Yeah,
I am Guju. I can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really did think that was a good a good cameo.
Yeah.
Just like a quick peppery one on top. And then we got to talk about Shah Rukh Khan before we go on to the negatives.
Yeah.
So guy's on a heater. He has another movie coming out. When was the last time he had 3 movies in a year? It's been a while.
3 movies in a year? It's been, I want to say, like 2004.
Yeah, so the guy's working. Clearly, COVID, he had a lot of shares in airlines, lost it all. But he's coming back. He's working hard. Yeah, I don't know what else there's to say, but the guy is just on a roll, and I don't see what can stop him at this point.
I mean, very well deserved, I would say. And what I think he did was really smart. So he had a few mishits, and in a time where he could have crumbled, he's like, let me chill for a sec here. Let me take a break. Because yeah, a lot of people might think, oh, the only reason it's been this long is because of COVID. Yeah, COVID has a part to it, but I think we have to remember that 2018 after Zero, he literally made an announcement in like beginning of 2019 that he's taking a break.
Mhm.
So he made that announcement. Now, would Baton and everything lined up a bit sooner if there was no COVID? I'm sure, but I think we were seeing him away from the screen for 2 years minimum, regardless.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to do that. He's
Yeah.
been in the game for so long.
So he kind of reevaluated. I think
Yeah.
what he dealt with was, like, first of all, this 90s and up till like 2010 lover boy image where he got his whole stardom from being this romantic hero.
Mhm.
And with hits in there like Dawn and stuff, but like essentially this romantic hero. And then he hits the 2010s, and then he gets into his 50s. And then in his 50s, again, it was like, well, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And he had to kind of redefine. And I guess his redefinition wasn't working. And he took a step back and he's like, what am I right now?
Yeah.
And he just came back and he hit it out of the park.
Yeah, I think he did a great job, like from a purely like business perspective.
Yeah.
Like he knows what his audience wants.
Yeah.
And his last two movies are kind of proof of that. He's the top 2 movies of the year this year so far.
Oh, exactly.
And he might have top 3 as well.
Yep.
At a certain point.
And one more positive before we go on that I gotta mention.
Yeah.
Because if you remember that when Baton came out, there was one thing I was really disappointed about, even before you went to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or there was one thing that I really wish they did differently.
Mm-hmm.
Even before I was watching the movie, I knew it. And that was that the VFX of the movie. Because I knew that they used the Restaurant Films VFX department to do all the VFX for Baton, and I've never been a fan of Wire.
And they used red chilies. Didn't they?
And I was always like, look, red chilies is the best in India.
Mm-hmm.
Use red chilies. I think we could tell the difference in this movie.
Yeah, it was better, definitely. We watched it in IMAX. Not as Pathan is definitely worse, I would say.
Yeah.
Pathan is also probably doing a lot more bigger stuff too. Like there's like 5 set pieces in Pathan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, there was,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that the Baton VFX was like blatantly terrible or something. No, I'm not saying that. Like, yes, there were areas where you could tell it's VFX.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it was horrible. I'm not saying it was great either.
No.
I think Red Chilies does a great job though.
But
I'm a big Red Chilies fan in terms of VFX in India because they do some good work.
Yeah, and this movie did have 6 months of post production, which is a lot more than most movies in India. Most movies in India go from production to red carpet premiere in 6 months.
Yeah, so. The reason this movie was delayed was because of VFX.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe with that being said, we can go into some of our negatives of this movie. I had a few. I didn't think Azad and Narmada needed a romantic relationship. I thought that whole plot line was extremely fast.
It was very rushed.
Yeah,
very rushed.
Very shallow. Like no depth at all. She's a cop, like a top cop, a woman cop in India, and a random guy shows up to her daughter's school and acts as her dad, and she doesn't immediately arrest him on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, that is surprising to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not true to her character. Also, like, even if like she had seen his picture before and stuff, is him not showing up like a red flag? like that's a little sus, you know? I feel like if that happened today, like you're straight to jail. And yeah, I just think it was rushed. I don't know if that needed to be in the movie.
It was rushed. Now, what I will say is that Utley is known for packing in a lot in one movie. He's known for it, even in his previous films. He's known for so many storylines that like you get through. You're watching like 50 movies in one, essentially at times.
Yeah.
So there was some of that in this movie.
And I think that happens in this movie at the cost of some of the women characters and their background stories. Because like I would have loved to know the other 6 characters or the other 3 characters for whatever it is, what their backgrounds are, why they joined the team. Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen. Like we were gonna get like each heist was gonna be like what their background is.
I guess then they would have had to do 6 heists,
or like it would have been like 2 farmers' daughters, 2 doctors, or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, something like that.
Yeah.
And then and then she starts dating him right after like she finds him at her daughter's school, which again, that's insane. That is insane. I almost think like based on how the movie ended, I almost think like it would have made more sense if they were kind of like will they won't they this movie, and then the second movie they're already together and they got together between 1 and 2. Because there will be a second movie based on how they ended this.
Based on how they ended, it seems like at least they're setting it up for a possibility.
Yeah, but I think forcing the love relationship when it didn't need to be there kind of slowed the movie down in certain places.
Yeah, they could have. I understand they wanted to make a connection between him and her early
Mhm.
on, in terms of just like, he's the guy she's after, and at the same time they want to connect the two characters away from that, caricature of his. Um, they could have. I don't mind that they introduced them. And then, like you said, introduce them, let it all kind of start, but then don't do anything until.
I think
Yeah.
the easiest way you could have done it is they both went to academy together. They dated then. They broke up.
Yeah.
That's it. So they have an existing history. They know each other, but you don't need to cast a daughter. You don't need all those scenes of going to this. You cut like 15 minutes out of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not as like bloated in that regard.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
A little smoother.
Yeah.
The role of women in this is super progressive overall. I thought they should have let the women beat the guy up on the train, though. By the way, for SRK.
Yeah.
Let's beat him up. You guys are all clearly trained. And I thought it was clear in the second half of this movie that SRK is the son and everything revolves around him.
Yeah.
Like afterwards. It was like they just dropped kind of a lot of the characters that they start to create at the beginning. They kind of just dropped them in favor of two SRKs.
Two SRKs, yeah.
Which makes sense. He is the draw of the movie. But then you have all these great characters that you're just kind of wasting now.
Yeah, where I particularly would have liked to see them more is, for example, at the end in the prison, it was only the two Shah Rukh Khans fighting the bad guys.
Yeah,
it's like, get them out, man.
In prison?
Why are they behind the bars?
Yeah, exactly.
Or get them out, or at least get the 6 girls out and get them to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are actually like good at it.
They're good at fighting. They'll help you. Why?
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be just 2 of you.
I totally agree with that, and that made no sense to me.
So I would have loved to see them incorporated into that action sequence. Make a bigger action sequence. Get the 6 girls involved.
Yeah,
that would have been good.
Exactly.
Including Nayantara.
Yeah,
get her involved in that one.
She's cool.
She's a cop as well. She's definitely going to be the one arresting this guy.
Exactly. She's the only one with actual jurisdiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Legit. The whole Russia point of him going to Russia and then like pitching his business plan.
Very rushed.
Rushed?
Yeah.
Also, like from a practical standpoint, explain this to me, okay? You are asking a group full of supposedly very dangerous people for money. Then one of those dangerous people who brought a cheetah to the meeting says, I will fund the whole thing. Does that mean he's covering everyone else, or they're all out of the deal?
Yeah, it was
okay.
It was really
and then second, he says the money's from the mafia. You don't say that out loud. Like, why would you say that?
This is mafia money.
Yeah, who says that out loud?
That's true.
What a guy. And then I fully expected at that point that like Shah Rukh Khan wasn't gonna kill him or whatever. He was just gonna leave him, and then the mafia was gonna like kill him.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happens.
No.
But I thought that was, and then the guy has like a Bane mask. Like, what the hell is that?
I mean, what I thought was like, why was the cheetah or whatever with him?
But the whole point of that was like, oh, there's money coming in. You could have just said like he launders money overseas. He's bringing it over.
Yeah,
and we're stealing it. You did not need this whole like
the whole scene wasn't necessary.
The cheetah was there solely for the trailer.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like that's it.
Yeah, true. They had to just drop it in the movie somewhere.
So stupid. And there was no point to any of that. I did like how they all had earpieces because he's in Hindi and they're like, we need translation.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, oh no, everyone just speaks Hindi.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, I got my MBA at Harvard and I minored in Hindi. Yeah, I just think I already talked about this. I just think the movie could have been like cut better. There's just some places. There's some one point where like there's not even like 8 minutes of screen time between 2 songs, and I'm like, okay. That's too quick.
So what I'll say about songs in movies is that I understand it's the way it's part of the movies. It's part of Indian cinema.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. And a lot of times I enjoy the songs.
Mm-hmm.
What throws me off sometimes is when a song comes in and just stops the story, and it's like you're taking a break from the movie, watching the song, and then going back to the movie. Now you're
in Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what just happened?
So when I'm taking a break, and so in this movie, that's what like I told you yesterday, like the prison sequence song.
Yeah,
I was like, great.
Yeah.
You're telling a story, and the song's in the background, and giving us a whole like montage or whatever here. I'm fine. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the flashback song when him and Deepika are first introduced as the couple
makes sense.
It makes sense. I'm fine with it. The song with the first song, which is Zinda Banda, which is the one that's been so popular.
Stupid.
Yeah, that one kind of comes out of nowhere.
The United
So,
Nations does not give prisons
yeah.
awards, okay? Even prisons that make prosthetic limbs for people. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
not
I've
a
never
thing.
seen that before.
And
Yeah,
okay, if the United Nations is there, there was not one white person.
it's true. There wasn't.
Where's the white
Where's
person
the
from the
white person
United
giving the
Nations?
award?
Yeah, this is fake. Okay, speaking of fake, let's talk about the most powerful character in this movie. The doctor who diagnoses Deepika as pregnant with a pulse.
Oh,
Are you a god? Are you a medical god? She just checks her pulse. She's like, oh, she's pregnant. All right.
That was I
And
was
then
like,
the judge is just like 5 years. Gavel swung.
yeah, that I was like, there's ultrasound, nothing.
Yeah, not even no like peeing on a stick.
Just,
Like
before making this big decision of postponing her execution. Not that she should have been executed in the first place. We're fine, but before they're making this big decision, just do one proper test.
yeah, like just one. Instead the guy swings the gavel. He's like, yep, 5 years.
Or at least make it so that the doctor has an inkling, and the doctor's like, okay, let's test her just to make sure. And then they're like, okay, and then they test her. Then the judge is like, okay, 5 years.
Exactly.
So that that would have been more like, yeah, fine, that makes it. But this one, she's pregnant, we're done.
Literally not even for like 2 minutes. It's like 2 fingers on the pulse for a split second. Yeah, she's preggo.
Yeah,
for sure. I've seen bear tricks like this. Trust me. Back in the village. Oh. Okay, the action sequence when they're stealing the money and Juju, the kid from the beginning of the movie, and then he becomes an adult and he throws the eggs.
That was the egg
so
sequence.
stupid.
I was like, how do you like that part was like it was hilarious. So like the one part of me is like, I'm like, okay, fine, like it's funny that was in the movie, like it's The other part is like, how is it that when you're going out for like a heist or whatever it is that
you bring
pack eggs with you? Like,
yeah.
well, how is that something you think
it's
about?
so stupid.
I would never think about packing eggs.
And like, it's not like they're not packing heat. They all have guns and bombs.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna bring half dozen eggs.
I would expect a grenade to be thrown at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
and
eggs.
Then, another point, they release a parachute in front of the guy's car.
Yes, yeah, the parachute.
It's so stupid. It's like at least the Punjabi guy had like the links or whatever that destroy your tires.
Destroy your tires, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was in that same scene, like the Molotov cocktails. They just show up out of nowhere on the side of the road and then you start throwing them at cars. Like, that was so random.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have them in their cars. They just found them on the side of the road. And there was booze in them.
Yeah, there was booze.
Who leaves empty booze? It's just there. And then I think my biggest critique was the ending kind of dragged on. I found the final fight.
Okay. Yeah.
Like after the 18th time your gun doesn't work, you wouldn't just get another gun.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay. True. Yeah.
That was a little suspect to me. Been rich for like 30 years. You're still that good of a fighter. Like you'd think like your hands would have softened by now.
Yeah.
But I guess whatever. Okay, he's a good fighter. A couple of other issues I had though. Why did they just stop using the guns? When that scene starts, they all have guns, and then they just start fist fighting, and no one uses guns after.
In the prison, right?
Yeah.
True.
They just stopped using guns. I would have liked if like they all stopped working. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Like if that's what happened, like they all started jamming. And then we got to talk about how crap is this guy's business? 4th largest arms dealer. Even his guns don't work.
Yeah.
And then this is the real issue. At the beginning, Vikram Rathor's gun is like an M4 or something, and then at the end, it's a pistol that doesn't work. So there's some engineering issues here at this guy's company.
Yeah.
But he's still gone to the 4th largest. Like there's some concerns here. And it's his own personal gun that doesn't work.
He's not even like the ones he's giving.
He's getting high off his own supply. And it came to burn him at the end. He should have just bought a Desert Eagle from Russia or wherever those are made. And it would have been fine. Shah Rukh Khan would have been dead. Both versions. But he bought his own stuff and see what happens.
Yeah.
And finally, it's like, you had 30 years to fix this. You just didn't fix the guns.
Yeah.
You're like, why fix them when I could just be an a-hole? And yeah, I think in general, I like this movie. Like I did enjoy it, but I think it was just stylistically, it wasn't my favorite. And I feel like if someone cut this movie differently, with like some of the songs and stuff, I think it could actually be like a really, really, really good movie.
Yeah.
Like top 5 movie kind of.
Okay.
If it would cut in the way that I prefer. But that's for me. That's not in general.
Yeah.
And then I have some random facts for you.
Sure.
Nayanthara's Hindi debut, you probably knew that. Yeah. Allu Arjun was approached to play the cameo that Sanjay Dutt ultimately plays. He's like the big actor in the South.
Yeah.
Atlee, only 36 years old.
You're very young. Yeah.
Super young to be this successful.
He cameos in the song.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that. I didn't like that. You know why I didn't like it?
Right.
I would have preferred if that was at the end of the movie.
Yes, me too.
Why is that in the middle?
Why is that in the movie?
Yeah, you ruined it.
That honestly, in my opinion, that prison song,
Mm-hmm.
put it at the end.
Yeah.
Why is it at the end?
Literally,
Make that your ending song.
just do it. But they have a different ending song, right? That's why.
Sure, but like that, their other ending song could have been like another release.
Yeah.
Just release on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then make this Zinda Banda, this big prison song with all the girls and everything.
I agree.
It's perfect to be at the end of the movie.
I agree.
It's a perfect song for
I
that.
totally agree.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the songs for this movie were sold for 36 crore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So 36 crore for just the songs.
Yeah. That's people are making money on this movie, man.
Yeah, that's insane.
So the budget of this movie, by the way, was 300 crore.
Yeah, they made that back in 2 days.
In 2 days.
So
yeah. The worldwide is at like
what was Gadar? What was that final number? Or
Gadar 2? Well, Gadar 2 is still in theaters.
Yeah, but
it's
what's the
taking
number?
a big hit. The number it's hovering at
300, right?
It hit 300. Yeah, it hit. I mean, domestically,
Yeah,
it hit 300. Yes, worldwide, Gadar has done 600 something.
So this movie did that in.
But
this movie, gonna do that in a week.
This movie's hit, or just about at the 600 mark, almost. In 5 days, 4 days, 5 days. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Gadar 2 is not like standing with it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, Gadar 2 dropped to about 1 crore
Mm-hmm.
a day kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
compared to this, which is doing like which I mean, this movie had the highest Sunday ever, 80 crore Sunday, 81 crore in a day. Sunday. It had a Saturday of like 70 something crore.
Mm-hmm.
It had a Monday of 30 almost. I mean, this movie is just it's
Yeah,
walking.
and to put that into perspective, like the movie has made roughly like around 90 million like USD.
Yeah.
Right, which is insane.
Yeah.
For the Indian market, that's a
Yes.
lot considering how cheap tickets are. That's
Yeah.
a lot of tickets moved.
Yes.
But yeah, with that being said, Umar, do you have anything else to add?
No, go watch the movie.
Yeah, enjoy it.
In theater near you. Check it out in IMAX if you haven't seen it in IMAX. It's still new. It's still fresh.
Yeah,
It's always
definitely.
fun watching Shah Rukh Khan on screen.
Definitely, you can take a pee break in the first song. I think it's a song with Deepika that might have. Which song has some like exposition in it? One of the songs has like a story in it, I feel, and has like some plot details. But the first song, you can definitely go pee.
First song has no plot details.
Yeah,
The
so
Deepika
definitely-
song I wouldn't leave in
No,
just because it's
it's
not that
Deepika.
long of a song.
Yeah,
And near the end of the song, the plot picks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoy the movie, and if you enjoy it, log it on Letterboxd so more white people can see. Okay?
Absolutely.
So then they know who Shah Rukh Khan is. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good one.
Take
Bye.
care.